Mike Heika. Mike?
Hey, Rick, we've asked you a lot about the team so far. What was it like for you, just the whole COVID experience? I hate to bring it up at your age and all the things that you had to deal with family and everything.
It was an experience. It was an experience that'll make us all better and stronger as we move forward as a team. We all have tremendous support from our families, and we certainly needed it through this stretch and through everything that we've been through. But again, it's an experience that you grow from, an experience that you learn from it, but it's also an experience you hope you don't have to go through again.
Our next question is from Saad Youssef. Saad?
Hey, Rick, when you look back on the season, is there a game or a moment or something that, that stands out as a textbook moment for you and what this team embodied this year?
Well, you just go back to last night and you see Aston, Blake, and Reg just blocking those shots and doing whatever it took to get us, to keep the game going. I think that was the general attitude of all our players all year. That in every game, even though there were some nights clearly we didn't have our legs and the energy, and based on schedule they just simply based on schedule. But this team always found a way to hang in there and battle and be tough to play against, and which we were. And I know the 14 overtime losses and the shootout losses hurt us, but that's 14 games that, we took them right into overtime. So last night, the overtime is a good illustration of the commitment our players had, and we had it all year. And yeah, there was nights we just didn't have it. That's going to happen in a regular 82-game season. That's going to happen. The fact that what we just went through over these past 11 weeks, 44 games in 77 days, man, that's unheard of. So, but again, I give our players a ton of credit. They never quit. Even nights we didn't have the energy, didn't have really, I could sense on the bench that they were trying. They were trying to muster the energy, trying to get things going. So I give them a lot of credit. And I think last night, winning that in overtime, is a good example of the commitment our team had all year, even though it doesn't show itself and we're out of the playoffs and in terms of wins, losses. But sometimes you have to look at other measures, and the commitment we had from our players was second to none.
Our next question is from Matt DeFranks. Matt?
Rick, I know you and your staff will probably examine this more in the coming weeks, but what adjustments do you look towards making for next year and kind of examining over the summer?
Well, I think, first of all, with the team, our team play was really strong, but we had some individuals who I don't think had very good years. So it starts with that, getting those guys, getting some individuals, getting them back on top of their game. And for whatever reason, they just didn't have the year that we needed them to have. Collectively, we were fine. The team play was good. That's what, like, the structure kept us in all these games and kept us right to the end. But certainly we're not. In some of these issues that we had, they'll be fixed as soon as we get a healthy lineup. They're going to automatically be fixed without tinkering with anything. Just putting Segi and Reg or Rads and Bish back in the net, a lot of those problems go away. But that being said, we were not happy with the specialty teams. I know the power play was, after you take away those first 5 games, was average. Penalty killing can be better. The road record we can't be under 500 on the road. And again, that overtime record is not, again, we took 14 games into there. We won a couple at the end in overtime, but we've got to fix those issues. But again, some of those issues we're talking about, they're fixed as soon as we put a healthy lineup on the ice.
Next, we will go to Owen Newkirk. Owen?
Hi, Rick. First off, I just want to say thank you to you for answering all of our questions all year and helping us do our jobs. Our radio broadcast is a lot better because we have your insights in our pregame shows and postgame. So thank you for dealing with the barrage of what probably feels like a lot of the same questions over and over those nights. And I just was curious, now that obviously you don't want to be off yet, you want to be in the playoffs and then go, but are you going to get a chance yourself to kind of decompress a little bit after this insane season, see your grandkids, play some golf, maybe take the Corvette out once or twice before you get geared up for next season?
Yeah. We'll do all of those things. We've got too much time now. It's one extreme to the other. So we have 4 months to decompress and clear our minds and get our energy back up for next season. But plans for that I'm already thinking about things that we know we have to improve. So one thing with this job, you never leave it. You can get away from it, but it always stays with you, which I love. So that's all right. That's all part of the program. But yeah, we'll go visit Brendan up out in Phoenix. But I'm looking forward to getting home and our place in Nova Scotia and spend a couple of months there. Haven't had my boat in the water for almost 2 years now. So looking forward to doing those things and playing some golf and relaxing. But again, the one thing I love about this job is that it stays with you. And you're always thinking about trying to do something better, challenging yourself. And I love that part of it still.
Our next question is from Robbie Fueling. Robbie?
Hey, Coach. Can you talk about the impact Jason Robertson brought to the team this year and just kind of what player he is and what kind of player you think he can be going into next year?
He'll just keep getting better. He's become, from where he was, we didn't play him in the bubble. You go back to January in training camp, we weren't sure. He didn't have a good camp, and we put him with our top players. He just wasn't ready for that. But his improvement from January, he's got to be the most improved player in the league. His improvement from where we were in January to where he is now, there's absolutely no comparison. His competitive nature has improved. His intensity has improved. His play without the puck has improved, and we'll still keep working on that with him. But offensively, the more he plays, the more confidence he gains. That's going to continue to get better. So I just think you're seeing at the tip of the iceberg here with Jason. There's a huge upside, and he's a great kid, and he's a hockey player, man. He loves the game. He loves playing the game. He loves the practices. He loves everything about him. You got to love that about him. He'll keep getting better, and he'll keep pushing himself, and I've told him we're going to keep pushing him. He likes those challenges as clearly, because that's why he's probably, again, in my opinion, he's the most improved player in the league, but he'll keep getting better in all areas of the game.
Next, we'll go to Mike Heika. Mike?
Hey, Rick. Miro's numbers weren't good this year. How do you assess his season, and what does he need to do to take the next step?
His play was better than his numbers. He was snake bitten a little bit around, some of his shots hitting posts and missing the opportunities. But so those numbers will get better. He's a young defenseman, and the people you don't hit your stride as an NHL defenseman until 5, 6, 7 years in the league. So he'll just keep getting better. He's a great kid, and again, he loves the game. He is a huge part of the future of this franchise. He's a great player, and now he'll keep getting better. He plays against the top players every night, and he does a really good job with that. So I have no issues with Miro's play whatsoever. It will keep getting better. There is more offense that's going to come. But again, his hockey sense and his ability to make something out of nothing sometimes offensively is incredible. And he's another young player. Again, it's 3 years in the league. He'll just keep getting better, and he will.
Next, we'll go to Saad Youssef. Saad?
Hey, Rick, curious, with all the time that you have this offseason and stuff, do you look at teams around the league, see what they're doing, what's working for them, and then try to implement it in your system? Or do you just kind of stay what's working for you and things like that?
No, we're always looking to improve. We're always watching other teams. We'll be scouting the playoffs. We'll be watching a lot of hockey between now and the Stanley Cup Finals, and we're always looking for all the coaches will be watching and doing series and we'll all be looking for different with things that we can add to our game. We're never satisfied. We missed the playoffs. We didn't win the Stanley Cup last year. You've got to keep trying to get better. This is a tough league, as you know, and there's a lot of good teams that missed the playoffs, and there's a lot of really good teams that made it and they're going to lose in the first round. So there's always things you can implement from other teams, and we'll be studying that very closely.
Next question is from Matt DeFranks. Matt?
Two questions. I'm not sure you're the person to be asking about this, but do you know if any of your guys are going to play in the World Championships? And secondly, I know the impact that COVID had on the schedule. What impact did it have on your guys physically, if it did, during the first month of the season?
We lost you there. I'm sorry, I missed the entire question.
All right. Yeah, the first one, not sure if you're the guy to ask about this, but do you know if any of your guys are playing in the World Championships? And second, we know the impact that COVID had on the schedule. What impact did it have on your guys physically, if it did, in the first month or so?
There's a few guys going to accept invitations, and a few guys won't. Listen, that the guys that had COVID, it's not like you have a flu, you have it for a couple of days and it goes away. It stays with you. So it did have an impact. I know some guys were tired. Some guys reacted differently to the vaccines that we had. They got tired and they got sore. And so those are things you don't think about. But then when you're talking to our players and you say, okay, you're off tonight, what's wrong? Then they tell you, well, I had the vaccine a couple of days ago and I'm not feeling good and I'm tired and I'm sore. And that's everyone had a different reaction to it. Did the COVID affect their team like it affected every team in the league? Absolutely. But the things that you don't think about, and you see a player struggling, you say, okay, what's wrong? And they tell you those things. Oh, wow, this is somebody we've never had to deal with before. But so then you've got to be a little more sympathetic to it. They're trying. It's just their body has reacted differently to COVID. It's reacted differently to the vaccines. And that's just the reality of it. It's just not our team. It's every team in the league. But I never thought of that until I talked to, I won't name the player, but I said, well, geez, you're off a little bit. He said, I'm just drained. I haven't felt good since I had the vaccine. Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Next, we'll go to Mike Heika. Mike?
Hey, Rick, how'd you like to experiment with Jamie Bennett center? And is that something you guys can do going forward with a healthy lineup?
We liked it and he liked it. And he enjoyed playing center. And as I've said many times, it's the best I've seen him skate in the 3 years I've been here. And talking to him, he really likes the center position. So is that something we're looking forward to next year? Absolutely. We love big, strong, physical centermen. And he certainly fits that bill. But I was happy when I talked to him almost every day about it. And he enjoyed playing center. And we certainly like the look we got from him playing center. So absolutely, we'll be looking at that for next year.
All right. We have no more questions for Coach. So
thank you, guys.
Appreciate your time.